recording here at Dallas, at the Hyatt Regency Dallas Airport, Dallas DFW Airport, at the FTU. This is our first FTU in a very long time.
Which stands for Frequent Traveler University.
And what do you think so far?
Well, I just got here yesterday, and American Airlines was kind enough to let us come over and look at basically their command central, which is on a huge campus, quite distant, 12-minute drive maybe from the airport. And we got to look out over this amazing, we couldn't take any pictures, unfortunately. Through windows, we could look out at this amazing room where 600 people at a time are basically in communication with every American airline plane in the air and making adjustments because of weather delays and booking hotels for guests, not only for flight attendants and pilots, but also for passengers who might be inconvenienced by a cancellation or a drop flight or whatever, or weather. It was quite extraordinary. I learned that American Airlines is apparently the largest booker of hotel rooms in the United States, 200,000 a year.
So they're the one that has by far the most irregularities.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
But somebody asked, well, so what do you do if it's, the Super Bowl weekend and there are no hotel rooms? And we were told that they actually book hotel rooms a year ahead for
those
Kentucky
cities.
Derby weekend, Super Bowl weekend, when there are great big things going on. And they may never need them, but they got to pay for them, and they have them sitting empty there.
Wow.
So
That's
if you ever get to Super Bowl, the last minute can't find a hotel, say, give me one of those American Airline rooms that's
no
already
kidding.
paid for, right? I'll just move into there.
Yeah, so you think it was a good idea that we added a little American Airlines tour on Friday as a part of the program?
Absolutely, yeah, and because I haven't attended any of the seminars yet, I'm participating in two of them tomorrow.
Right.
But I had to do my radio show this morning. It's now, as we talk, 11:15 in the morning. So
Yeah.
I haven't done any of the FTU on-site stuff yet. But I've been to, as you know, I've been to other FTUs with you, and they're always interesting. Yes, particularly if you're a miles and points hoarder, as I am, and many Americans are.
And it's at a Hyatt, which seems to be a popular, the most popular hotel loyalty program.
And you always do them. I mean, I remember doing the Marriott at O'Hare, I think, and
We did Marriott at O'Hare. I mean, it has to do
it's
with
always at an airport hotel.
Yeah, mostly it's at an airport hotel. It's just for more convenient for people. We see more attendance coming then for sure. And yeah, we're doing it now, and we're going to do it next year also here. But it's a lot of we have virtual seminars once. We're 10 of them a year, so for our members that are our premium members is kind of been our focus right now. We have about 2,000 of those. And it's growing. So, but we're very happy that we're back to having in-person events and getting everybody together. It's really fun to see a lot of new faces, but some of the old school gang is also
It was
here.
great to see you yesterday in your Hawaiian shirt while the rain, sheets of rain and gray clouds were pouring down. You look like a Mr. Hawaii who didn't get the memo or got on the wrong plane.
Yeah, no, I did get it. I try to stay in California. It's a little bit more stable with the weather there, and also no humidity, which is the killer around here. Even if it was only like 72 here last night. Yeah, what you were talking about what you do on your radio show lately. What's
Well, a couple things, and some of our viewers, listeners might know this by now, but it was new to me today as we record on, what's the date today? The 3rd of May?
I think it's the 3rd of May.
yeah.
3rd of May. Yeah.
Lyft is just announced a new program called Lyft Silver Lyft. Now, I don't know if you ever saw the Saturday Night Live skit about Silver Alexa, the new special, of course this is fictional, the new phone for older people.
Right.
Where any name you call it, Alexa, Andrea, Amy, it responds because
yeah, of course.
It's one of their great skits. And if you've never seen it, go to YouTube and type in Saturday Night Live and Silver Alexa. It is a hoot. So now we have Silver Lyft, and Silver Lyft is for older folks, like as I am.
How old do you have to be a silver?
Well,
lifter?
there's no age thing on it.
Really?
No, I looked up Lyft, and they didn't have a requirement for an age. You just got to be old and cranky, I guess. No.
You don't get a discount.
No, you get no discount. It's same fares, everything. But they will send you a car that will be a larger probably than one of their small cars, so that it's easy to get in and out of. You have, as a silver rider, you can have constant communication, or whenever you need it, with a real live person at Lyft. If you ever try to call anybody at Lyft or Uber, it never happens. You never get anybody. But if you're an old guy, you can actually, if you go, I think my driver is trying to kidnap me, or I think my driver is smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, you almost got kidnapped yesterday, I heard.
Well, that's a whole other story.
That's a different story, yeah.
Yeah. And what else? Okay. Oh, and also they will let your loved one, your younger wife or daughter or whatever, or son, know when you arrive at your destination.
Okay.
So
does it cost more?
No, it doesn't cost any more. It's the same price. And the statement from Uber in the press release, from Lyft in the press release, said, we've thought about this and planned this very carefully because we really want to take care of those we cherish the most. And as an old guy, I like being cherished. Anyway,
there you go.
So that's Lyft Silver. The other thing I didn't...
When is it coming?
It comes, we're talking on May 3rd. It starts May 5th, Monday.
Cool.
So
good times. We got to check it out. Maybe you do a little bit of bring your phone and make a video.
And look like a panicked, scared.
Do they have a cane in the car also that you can use to get in and out of?
I think they have a seeing eye dog right on the front seat there. Yeah.
There you go.
And the other thing was, I didn't know that. This was news to me. It's relatively new, but not this weekend new. I didn't know that there are about a dozen airports in the United States now that will let anybody go through security without an airline ticket to promote shopping and restaurants, or to meet, maybe you have an elderly relative coming in, you want to meet him at the gate and help them with their luggage at the carousel or whatever. As we know, after security tightened, after 9/11, you're not supposed to go through there through security unless you have an airline ticket. Now, I will tell you, and even the guest I had on talking about this, there's a website called ifly.com, and they list all the airports and the rules. And the airline doesn't give you this pass. The specific airport does.
Right.
And each airport has different rules. Some you have to book a day or two ahead. Some you can walk right in and do it. And but I've been doing it for years. I go to for example, if you were flying through my hometown of Minneapolis and you only had an hour and a half layover, no time to go meet at a restaurant downtown or whatever, I go to the airport and I go up to any airline counter and look up on the line and see what the flight's going in 2 hours, and I buy a ticket. I go through security as if I'm a passenger. I meet you. We have a lovely lunch. You go on your flight. I come back out, go up to the airline counter before the flight and say, my boss just called. He's last-minute cancellation on the trip, and I get a refund for the ticket.
Right.
So that's how I've been getting in. So you can actually do that at any airport.
Yeah. And you can also go to the club lounge.
And you go to the club lounge, right? But the airport's doing it to build more business. And one couple talked about how interesting it was because they wanted to take their young child to get familiar with the airport because they're about to fly with him or her. And they wanted to get familiar with the airport. I thought that was sort of nice. So if you go to ifly.com, they actually list the dozen or so airports, and they're big airports, some of them.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be before 9/11 you could do that. I remember
you
also
wander around and
right. I had a, you'd have a before all the shoes and water bottles and all sorts of things.
You could walk
like
in
that.
and go anywhere at any gate and
back in the day, but you can't visit the clubs anymore. You need a ticket to get into the clubs on a specific airline. So it's not like it was back in the day that you could go through security and go to
and also go to a club.
Go to a club. You could that before. You didn't need to show a ticket.
As long as you
were a member of. As long as you were a member of the Red Carpet Club with United or whatever.
It's a cheap lunch every day if you did it.
Yeah, or in a crap load of efforts though. But back then, you remember, there wasn't a lot of free stuff.
That's true. That's true.
You had to pay for the hooch. You got a couple of drink tickets when you were flying internationally.
Pre-wrapped bad sandwiches, or that's true.
No, I don't even think they had sandwiches. It usually was like
peanuts.
Yeah,
in a bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Peanut
true.
Club,
That's true. Now it's much more lavish. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's crazy, but now you can't get in, and there are all sorts of restrictions on that. I saw that Delta is opening another lounge, and United is making heavy investments on their Polaris one. Yeah, so they've one in Chicago, I think, just opened, the new one. It's like twice the size, and all sorts of new stuff, and they're doing revamping and adding more clubs into that space and making it more premium. I think that kind of is the focus of all the U.S. carriers because they have been lagging behind for a long time. But I mean, it's still a little.
Speaking of United.
Speaking of.
Last night I ran into Tom
Stuker,
Stuker, who is legendary in aviation circles for having long ago.
Speaking today.
He and I are on a panel together tomorrow.
Beautiful.
And I'd never met him. I've had him on various shows. And he's famous. He runs a auto parts company that sells, and he's always flying to Australia. Anyway, he was one of the. There was a time a couple decades ago when American and United would sell for like $300,000 an unlimited ticket for the rest of your life, flying first class anytime, anywhere you want to go. Which was $300,000. That was a lot of money back then. Still a lot of money, but anyway, Tom took advantage of it. Apparently, at least at United, more than anybody in the world, because he had a lot of people buying out. He had a lot of clients in Australia, so he was flying to and from Australia like twice a month. Anyway, he's got I don't know how many billions of miles, millions and millions of miles on United. And I learned last night that United has taken away his pass.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Apparently it's been a while since it happened.
Yeah.
I met him at the bar yesterday, and he mentioned that too.
I asked him why. Did you hear him give the answer?
It was kind of.
Well, they said, well, first of all, let's just stipulate it first. United has gotten an incredible amount of publicity because of him.
He was a PR.
profile-
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what the reason is.
I'll tell you the reason.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, apparently they decided they had given him enough free flights after a couple decades, but what they hung their excuse for taking away that unlimited lifetime pass was that according to and Tom hired a lawyer who found it. So Tom, you're not going to stand a chance here. Apparently, paragraph 3 of whatever he signed to get this thing says, "Thou shalt not talk about this lifetime pass in any public forum in any way without express written permission each time from United." And of course, people would call him up. You go on TV shows, you go on radio shows. You don't have time to get
They had
permission.
PR events all the time with him.
Right, they sent
I went
him
to
a
his
first-class seat to put in his office, and
He
nearly gave him his own airplane.
Randy and I went to a couple. I think it was the 10 million one at O'Hare, where the CEO thanked him, and they put his name on a plane, and it was like. They don't want him. That's ridiculous. He says that the clause is in there, but I honestly think that they've been doing that for so long, and they have had so many PR things. I'm not sure if he doesn't have a case. I think it's ridiculous, and I also think that it's petty. If that's the reason, it must be that a Scott Kirby thing. I mean, I honestly don't know what to say, but that's completely wrong. I just banning somebody for giving you PR.
Right. I mean, he bought a lifetime pass, and again, even if he never said, they're getting much more value out of them if he never said a peep and was still flying.
Right.
So let him keep. He loves United, or loved United. I don't know how he feels now, but I'm going to find out.
No, but he's not in the good space. That really hit him hard. To be honest with you, I didn't know that had happened. I must have missed that. I'm not on Flyer Talk anymore, so I really don't pay attention to that kind of gossip. But if that really is the reason.
That's what his lawyer told him. That's why United said, "Hey, he's not supposed to be." Of course, United's promoted him being on media.
So I remember it was Rasan Johnson who was the head of PR for United back then, and he was calling every single reporter. And Randy was there, and there was you had the Wall Street Journal.
Want to interview Tom?
Scott McCartney was there, and everybody was there. And they didn't invite like second rate, like maybe Peter Greenberg wasn't there or anybody like that. He wasn't there, but there was everybody else was there. It's like a big thing. They had a cake with his name on it. They rolled up a 747 where it said Tom Stuker on the side of it.
Oh, God. Amazing. Well, there's clearly been a change of heart at United, and Tom's no longer Mr. Frequent Flyer.
Yeah, no, but I think also Ben Sloppig, the 1 mile at a time guy, he was also banned from United to fly altogether. Because of there was a hack back in the day, like 2008, 2009, 2010-ish, where you could you got vouchers for United. They were actually vouchers for like sorry vouchers or whatever.
I remember them. Yeah.
So with $200 or $300 or $500, right? So stuff like that, and those vouchers one guy, this miserable guy from New Jersey I used to know back in the day, he was one of the guys who found that hack. I don't know if they actually got his account, but I'm all for travel hacking.
What was the hack?
So the hack was that you take these codes, and they were like 10-digit codes.
Right.
And you open up one browser in Safari, one browser in Opera, one browser in Internet Explorer, one browser in Chrome,
Firefox.
and then you find the 3 tickets that you search for the tickets that you have, and then you hit purchase at the same time at all of those 5 browsers, so your voucher goes 5 times.
And
That's what's the hack. I don't know 100% sure if that was what Ben got caught for, but it was something like that.
did Ben just write about it, or did he actually do it?
No, he did it.
did
and
it.
he got busted for something like that. Or it was something else. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm not going to hold, I'm not going to say that was it, but it was definitely something that was crossing the line. So,
Wow. Boy, it's amazing.
Ben got busted for that, and but he paid. He wrote them a check for the money that cost United. So he did that, but it didn't matter. He waited. When Mark Nasser and Scott were there. Scott O'Leary, they're now at Canada. They were both felt really strong about that fraud, and I'm completely on the same page with that. I know many flyer talkers. That's where I draw the line on my travel hacking.
Yeah, well,
I don't mind getting a good deal with a mistake fare because
Right.
that's
on them.
That's totally on them. But that was the scam.
Yeah, but
And
Tom's thing is different.
Tom's
He's
thing
not
is
scamming
completely-
anybody. He bought
yeah,
a
but-
lifetime pass, and
But
thank you very much.
my point is that after those guys left
Yeah.
United and Oscar became the CEO, and those guys were gone, and that culture was gone from back then. Then they revisited, and since he'd already paid up and made due, and he had been banned for like I don't know half a decade or something like that. And then he got his opportunity, and that was fixed up. But this is obviously completely different. This is ridiculous. And, there's also these lifetime passes. People are selling their seats or doing all sorts of shenanigans with them. And there are many of them that have been banned. Obviously, it's not good business, right, to sell. But back in the early 90s, they were selling all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could buy a United Club membership,
for life.
lifetime membership for the United. It was called the Red Carpet Club.
$500, $1,000.
I don't think it was that. I think it was like $300.
I remember our buddy Peter Greenberg bought a couple of those. Yeah.
Right, and of course, that if you travel a lot, that's a killer, right?
Do we presume that's still in effect? All those people can
All
still
those
do that?
they can still access the clubs for sure. I just saw my friend Carol, who who's the I think she retired from Flyer Talk, but she was like after. Randy was kicked out. She took over running it. She was a moderator back in the day, senior moderator back in the day when I was a moderator on Flyer Talk. So that's how I saw her posting the other day about those
Lifetime
passes.
pass
Yeah,
to the
but
club.
she was like, it's the biggest investment that they've ever made and stuff. So,
Right.
yeah. So what else did we want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. What else? United's just started, or is about to start flights to Asia, nonstop flights, which right now, if you want to fly, say, to Bangkok nonstop from North America, you have to go out of Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And United's going to fly from the West Coast, I think, nonstop.
Cool.
And that's, as somebody who likes Asia, that's very good news for me. And it'll cut a couple out, well, more than that. I mean, I fly out of Minneapolis to get to Bangkok on Delta and change planes in Seoul, Korea.
Oh, you can also change in Tokyo.
Right. I know the one in Seoul, which is what they always put you on at Delta, is it's only about an hour and 10-minute layover, so it's short, but you got to land, you got to take off, all that takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet it'll cut 4 or 5 hours out of 4 hours, maybe out of.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Flight.
Bangkok is a operationally challenging airport because it's extremely far. It's pretty much the furthest you could fly from the United States, right? So
And they also had safety problems, but FAA just certified them as a Schedule 1 or Status 1.
Yeah.
They've now decided the airport's safe, that they will let U.S. carriers now fly nonstop and not have to stop somewhere else first. So.
Yeah.
So that's new, or will be relatively new this summer. That's a good thing. What else? What else?
What are you looking forward to on the program this weekend? What speakers? Are you excited about Peter Greenberg being here?
Why do you keep behind Peter Greenberg? Peter's a dear friend of ours. And we
He
should not
is a dear friend
Right.
of ours, isn't it? He
pretty much knows everything.
he definitely knows. You don't have to know anything because he knows everything. So that's the good thing about knowing Peter, because you can just go in blind because he'll figure
Sometimes
it out.
even if he doesn't know it, he'll say it in a way that makes you believe he knows it.
Exactly. It's like somebody else we know. Everybody knows this guy, and so he's actually his charity is one of the benefactor of this this weekend. Did you know he's a fireman?
Yes, he's probably told me that 4,000 times in the 40 years I've known him. Yes, I know. He's a volunteer fireman on Fire Island, yes.
Yes, so his fire chief guy, he's getting half the money that we're raising this weekend on our charity raffle.
To those needy people on Fire Island in the Hamptons?
Yeah,
Or
for
near the
the
Hamptons.
fire department, so they have, I don't know, get a new coffee machine or something like that.
Yeah,
Who
right.
knows?
Oh, that's nice, okay.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Tommy Danielsen and Rudy Maxa at the FTU in Dallas.
Good, clean fun. Thank you, Tommy.
Almost, except for last night. Thank you. Thanks for joining.